Today, we're going to show you how to travel Italy, one of the most beautiful countries we've ever had the chance to visit. And if you're looking for the perfect 2-week itinerary, you've come to the right place.
Planning this trip was one of the hardest things we've ever done in our 6 years of full-time travel due to the sheer amount of things to do and places to visit in Italy, and of course all the different ways to get around. Italy really does have it all, from the snowy Dolomite Mountains in the north to the bluest, dreamiest beaches in the south, and not to mention some world wonders and that iconic Italian food.
Ciao bella!
We only had 2 weeks to explore this country, and we think it is the perfect amount of time to get a taste of what it has to offer. We picked all the absolute must-see places for a first-timer, and honestly, we're beyond happy with how our trip went and literally cried when it came time to leave. So we think you'll love every minute of it as well.
This video will equip you with everything you need to know to plan the perfect trip to Italy, and if you find it at all useful, we'd appreciate if you can give it a like. Let's get into it. When looking at flights to Italy, we found that Rome and Venice were the cheapest and most common. From Cape Town, South Africa, where we live, we found a great deal on Lufthansa to Venice, so we went with that and planned our itinerary around it. It really doesn't matter where you fly into, you can pretty much start wherever you want. There's no wrong way to travel Italy, so we'd recommend just seeing where the cheapest flight in lands and plan around that. Here's an outline of our specific route, which starts in Venice, we make our way down and then back up. We did it like this so we could end our trip up north, making it easier to drive to our next destination of Switzerland. Some other popular routes start in Milan and work down, or start in Rome or Naples and work up. We're not doing Sicily on this trip, but that's another place worth seeing. Hopefully we'll get around to it next time, because we'll definitely be coming back for more.
First stop, dreamy Venice, built on a group of 126 islands in a lagoon of the Adriatic Sea. You're coming to Venice to explore the incredible canals and bridges, eat some delicious Italian food, and just stroll around. We think a good amount of time to spend here is 2 nights. We personally did 1, and it was great.
Landing at Venice airport was a breeze. We got our luggage safe and sound, even though it went through Frankfurt, which is notorious for losing luggage. We'd recommend adding an air tag to your bags just in case. Right outside the terminal, you can purchase various bus tickets to get you either anywhere on the mainland, where most budget travelers stay, or onto the islands itself. You can also purchase the water taxi tickets inside the terminal, which will take you straight to Venice from the airport. And we've heard really good things about it, people love it.
We have 2 affordable accommodations on the mainland that we can recommend to you, one near the airport called Venice Green and one in the suburb of Mestre, which costs around $80 per night. We dropped off our luggage, purchased more bus tickets at a local tobacco shop, this is a common thing to do here, and before we knew it, we were eating a panini on the Venice canals and could not believe we were actually there. Welcome to Venice, the very first stop on our amazing Italian adventure.
Mushroom, 2, and 3 more.
Yes, please. You choose.
Yeah, I don't want to choose.
Ciao, grazie.
Pork and mustard,
Okay.
bacon and artichoke.
Ok,
And salami.
mezzo pieno, mezzo vuoto.
Put that 5.
Okay, yeah. Grazie.
For the 6. 6-0.
While you're here in Venice, you should try all the little snack stops and little restaurants on the canals. Grab a panini and a glass of wine if you want. Come plonk yourself down here pretty much anywhere you're allowed to eat. And it's just bellissimo.
After our sandwich stop, which were delicious by the way, highly recommend this place, we grabbed some water taxi tickets, this time at a newspaper stand, for a trip down the Grand Canal to San Marcos Square.
It honestly looks like a theme park here. It does not look real. All these buildings look like they've just been designed this way. I cannot believe we're in the real Venice. There's so many different places in the world you can go and experience a Venice, but this is the real one. All these buildings are historic. They're so beautiful.
made it to St. Marco's Square. It's unbelievable to be back here 15 or 16 years later. Coming back to Venice has been like I'm seeing the city with completely new eyes. I was here on a cold, dreary winter's day, and we've come back in the summer. It's blue skies, the water's popping, everything just looks so amazing. So I definitely don't regret coming back to this place a second time.
Right behind us is St. Marco's Basilica, and guys, it is the most beautiful building I've ever seen in my whole life. It is so detailed. Apparently those horses over there were the horses that Napoleon stole from a museum, or where?
From where they are right now.
From where they are. Napoleon stole those horses and somebody returned them. And Napoleon's French, isn't he?
Yep.
Thief! And then right behind us here is a massive bell tower. This is St. Marco's Campanile, I think it's called.
You can actually go inside the basilica itself. We're not going to do it this time, partly because I've already done it. Admission is €3 on site, but if you want to book ahead of time with extra benefits like skipping the line and the audio guide, then you can book this experience on GetYourGuide, who are actually the sponsors of this video, but we'll talk more about them later.
This behind me is the most famous bridge here in Venice. It's called the Bridge of Sighs, and I bet you cannot actually guess why it's called the Bridge of Sighs. On the left hand side here is the jail, and on the opposite side is the court. So when the prisoners were actually sentenced to jail and they would walk across this bridge, obviously they realized they lost their freedom and they would just sigh because they were going to jail. And that's why it's called the Bridge of Sighs. How insane is that? And it's pretty. It's like the most iconic photo spot here in the whole of Venice. It's so busy, but you can just push your way through here and you get a nice little spot. So we've taken a closer look at the jail. I think it's absolutely insane. Like, I'm smiling so much. We're history boffins, by the way. But like, this building, you can see how old it is, and look at the double bars to the prison. There's no ways you were getting out here. And it's just so beautiful. Look at the rust of the metal. Ah, it's cool to be here, guys. We're only spending a few hours here in Venice, actually. We're landing here and we thought, let's just pop in and see. We actually didn't come here to sightsee or anything. We just wanted to be here in Venice and see what it's all about, be near the water, the canals, the boats and everything. That's really why we came to Venice. There are certain people that say that you should skip Venice. I think those people are nuts because it's so beautiful, it's so cute. Yes, it's touristy. Yes, there's lots of crowds, but in the best way. Obviously, there's going to be crowds and touristiness here. It's so cute, it's iconic.
There's definitely a lot of touristy spots in Venice, but there's also a lot of quiet spots where you can just observe the local way of life here.
Lost in Venice.
Like this alley where there's literally no people.
This is just so epic, honestly, guys. I actually do wish that we were staying here on the mainland. If you can afford it, definitely book a hotel here. Just to be in the thick of it, it's so much fun.
Just grabbed a quick takeaway pasta in a box at Del Moro's here, and there's certain places where you can't eat. So you've got to go find the specific place that you're allowed to eat at.
The question is this bolognese as good as my grand's? Let's see. It's better. And it's on the go. Bolognese on the go. Oh my word. The next 2 weeks are gonna be fantastic. Literally everyone's here right now eating their takeaway pastas on the canals. It's literally one of the things you have to do here in Venice. Have a takeaway pasta on the canal. Check.
We spent the rest of our day exploring more beautiful canals. Of course, we had to try some gelato at one of the most popular spots here called Gelo Netto, and that was it. We felt an afternoon was more than enough time for what we wanted to get out of our time here in Venice. Oh, and something no one actually tells you is how long the walk back to the station can be after you visit the San Marco Square area. So be prepared for that.
Good morning, it's time to catch a train from Venice to Rome. Train should take us about 4.5 hours and we are taking Train Italia.
Highly recommend that you book your tickets for these trains online so that you don't have to validate your ticket here at the train station.
Guys, we made that train right by the skin of our arse. That was so close, we nearly missed it. But, what can I tell you about the trains? Really nice. You put your luggage overhead. If there's no space, feel free to just move people's bags and chuck in. Everyone's so friendly here anyway. You also can put your hand luggage under the seat over here in front of you. There's also a restaurant on board, so definitely we need some coffee and something to eat.
Yeah, it's been a rough morning.
Yo, what a rough morning for us. It's only our fault though.
Rome is a remarkable city with one of the richest histories in the world. As the birthplace of the Roman Empire, its legacy spans thousands of years. It's home to hundreds of incredible historical sites, must-visit attractions, and of course, world-class food.
This is our Airbnb here in Rome. It's actually right across the street from the Vatican City. You can even see St. Peter's Basilica from our window. We're paying around 100 euros per night, and that's excluding the tourist tax. Every tourist that comes to Italy has to pay this tourist tax, and it varies per city. In Rome, it is 6 euros per person per night. They'll usually ask you for this fee upon check-in, but sometimes at checkout too. Most people are pretty surprised by this fee when they arrive here, so now you know about it and you're welcome.
If you're a first-time visitor to Rome, you can't go wrong with staying in the historic center. It's one of the most beautiful areas of the city and has hundreds of hotels and restaurants to choose from. Other good areas to stay in are Prati, where our accommodation is. It's across the river from the major sites, so you will need to do more walking or use public transport. Prati is really close to the Vatican City and has some affordable accommodation and restaurant options. Monti gives a small boho village vibe filled with boutique stores, bars, and some great restaurants. It's also very close to the Colosseum. Across the river is the vibey Trastevere, a popular place to stay and known as the foodie hub of Rome. The Jewish Quarter or Ghetto is a great area too. It's conveniently located and is filled with some amazing restaurants serving Roman Jewish foods. For the most budget-friendly accommodation, you can look at the Roma Termini area. It's not the most attractive part of town and does come with a bit of a reputation as being slightly unsafe. We passed through here multiple times though and didn't feel unsafe. There were always so many people out and about. Anything bad happening is pretty unlikely.
We'll include some incredible accommodation options for all different budget types in our resource pack, and that also includes our Google Maps link, which has all the best spots throughout Italy.
Bright and early, and we have come to the one, the only Trevi Fountain.
And everyone else got the same idea as us to come after the sun rises. It's before 7 o'clock and there's absolute tons of people here as well.
Realistically though, we're probably not up bright and early enough. I would recommend coming here at like 5:30 sharp. We were here at 7 and it's quite full.
Trevi Fountain itself was one of the original watering holes, basically water supplies for the city, so you know it's fresh and it's great. And isn't it iconic drinking the water right here from Trevi Fountain?
I love it.
Good deed done. At the end of every day, they collect all these coins, like thousands of euro worth of coins, and it all goes to charity. I love that. Right by Trevi Fountain, there's a beautiful cafe that you can sit at and have chocolate stuffed croissants and cappuccino right in front of the Trevi Fountain. But there's a massive line there already, which is bleak. I'm sad. Those croissants better be worth it. That line was massive. Anyway, most of the cafes here have a big line, so we're going to just make our way towards our next spot and just find a cafe really anywhere in the hopes of getting a croissant and a coffee. What a way to start the day. Just walk around corners here in Rome and bump into historical sites. Like, they're littered all over the city. This is the Pantheon, and we didn't even know it was here. We just bumped into it. Rhett's even like, what is this? I'm like, this is the Pantheon. He's like, no ways.
At the time we bumped into the Pantheon, it wasn't yet open, so we decided to grab some coffee and croissants from a highly rated cafe right across the road and wait for it to open at 9 a.m. By the time we finished coffee, the lines were already super long, but we've got a tip for you to avoid waiting in those long lines. This is an architectural marvel with its perfectly symmetrical ceiling and is the best preserved ancient Roman building in Rome. All the huge pillars were brought from Egypt, and it's one of the first buildings to use poured cement to make the roof.
Welcome to the Pantheon. They started construction in 27 BC and finished about 150 years later. So this is literally 2,000 years old, and honestly it looks in pristine condition.
It looks modern. The actual dome itself looks so modern and new. I can't even fathom that it's over 2,000 years old.
One big tip actually, there's 3 lines, one for if you bought your ticket beforehand, if you could buy online on the website. Then there's a cash line which was super long, and then the shortest line of them all was the credit card line, which is on the far right of the building. That's what we used. We literally walked into this Pantheon first, tapped my Apple Pay, and we were in. So highly recommend you guys do that.
It literally felt like we were cheating, but we were let in first. The credit card line is let in first. And it's so quick and easy, and you don't even have to book tickets in advance. So there's your tip.
Just a short walk from the Pantheon is Piazza Navona, another thing to do here in Rome.
He's broken.
Piazza Navona.
That's a reality in Europe. Sometimes your favorite buildings will be under construction. It's only to keep them pretty though.
We used the metro to get to our next thing to do, a world wonder and the very reason you come to Rome.
And that's the Colosseum, obviously.
We have entered the Colosseum, and we've learned so much already about the animals that were brought here for the big battles. I don't think people realize how much of an architectural marvel this place actually was, with all the hoists and the sails that were above to keep all of the spectators out of the sun.
This is the inspiration for all stadiums today, and it worked very much like a general stadium.
I didn't actually know that. Each arch was an entryway. There's Roman numerals to mark, and you had your little terracotta ticket, and you were assigned a seat, just like normal stadiums. And you had to give your little terracotta plank to one of the officials, and they showed you to your seat. How bizarre. I must admit, all these statues and images around this Colosseum are brilliant. They give you a real look inside what the Colosseum actually looked like many years ago. There were beautiful statues absolutely everywhere. It must have been incredible coming here back in those days. I told you, these statues are epic. This is exactly what the Colosseum used to look like. Look at the beautiful statues all around. Look at the wooden pillars that the ropes were attached to.
For those that don't actually know what the Colosseum is, it was basically an arena where people would come and watch other people fight. So you get gladiators, you get slaves fighting for their freedom, and sometimes they wouldn't just fight each other, they'd fight other animals, even rhinos, lions, tigers, all of that. Right down there is the Colosseum stage floor, which would have been in wood, which is now broken, and then underneath the stage floor they would have cages where they would hold the tigers, and then they'd be brought up on an elevator into the arena, and the whole crowd would see, oh my goodness, this man is going to fight a tiger. And often the men fighting the animals were unarmed. It was really an unfair fight, and they're basically just coming here to watch people get killed by an animal just for entertainment. I want to know in the comments, would you guys come if you lived in the Roman times? Would you come to watch a fight in the arena here? Today's age, we basically just watch the World Cup final, and the most entertainment we see is Zinedine Zidane headbutting somebody. But back in the day, they used to actually watch people get eaten. It's crazy.
Once you've visited the World Wonder, you'll then walk over to the Roman Forum, passing the Arch of Constantine, built in the 6th century to celebrate the first Christian emperor. The Forum was the very center of the Roman Empire, and as it was known then, the capital of the Western civilized world. The Roman Empire lasted about 1,000 years. It started in 500 BC and ended in 500 AD. It's now just a bunch of ancient rubble, but if you can use your imagination, you can picture the daily lifestyle of Romans here. There were markets, courts, jails, emperors roaming around with guards and gladiators, animals, food produce, and so much more. And everything was covered in white marble. We highly recommend watching this Rick Steves YouTube video to learn all about it if you don't end up coming here to learn for yourself. The final stop, the Palatine Hill, was just as the name suggests, a hill filled with towering palaces. It's one of the 7 famous hills in Rome and where the emperors themselves used to live.
Nearly every fun experience, tour, and entry ticket that we booked during our time in Italy was booked on our favorite platform, GetYourGuide. We've been using the app for around 4 years now on our travels, and it's truly one of our favorites. Why? Because it streamlines the entire process of finding and booking highly rated tours and curated experiences all over the world. There's no need to walk around on the streets of a foreign place and get harassed by dodgy tour operators. You just open the app or click on one of the links we share under all of our videos, read the reviews, select dates and times, pay through the app, and all of your tickets and tour details are stored in one safe place. And the best part, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance and get a full refund in case your plans change. So head down to the description of this video, click on the links and start booking those fun tours now. Thank you so much GetYourGuide for supporting our travels and literally making all the fun stuff possible. Good morning everyone, it's another day here in Rome and we've got something so exciting planned. We actually took it really easy this morning because after the Colosseum tour yesterday, our bodies are broken. Like my feet are so sore. We're definitely not used to walking as much coming from South Africa. I don't know how you guys do it in Europe, like it's so much walking, dude. Anyway, I just wanted to mention one thing. Rome is a bustling city, guys. There is so much going on. There are so many tourists here. We are here in June, early June. There's so much traffic and noise and ambulances going past, and it is like full on. This is our room here. We have such awesome views of all the tourists passing here by the Vatican. But listen to when I open the window. How intense. All the windows in Rome have to be double glazed, otherwise it's just too noisy. But anyway, let's head out. And Rome has some of the best food in all of Italy, and this area that we've come to today, Trastevere, has the best food in all of Rome. And the best way to explore the food in Rome is to do a food tour. You guys know how much we love food tours, and we do them in every city that we can possibly do them in. First stop is to try 2 of the most famous cheese here in Rome. We all know cheese is such a big part of the Italian cuisine. We've tried Parmigiano and we've tried Pecorino Roma, which is actually the cheese used to make carbonara, and cacio al pepe, which is the most famous pasta dish here in Rome.
Salute, salute, salute.
Salute. When you cheers here in Italy, you have to say salute. You have to maintain eye contact. You cannot cross arms with anybody, and you have to tap.
on a surface before you have a drink. If you break any of those rules, you get 7 years of bad luck. So don't do that, guys. Now you know. Salute.
Oh, you can also smell the beautiful smell. So this is pork, slow roasted pork called porchetta.
I wish you could smell it. It smells phenomenal.
Be careful because it's greasy.
Greasier the better.
Yes.
Oh, what a good start.
So,
Wow.
What the heck? Christmas on a piece of bread. Oh, it smells phenomenal. Whoa. This is supli classico, which is basically risotto in a Napoletane sauce and cheese, deep fried. And it's super popular here in Rome, only found in Rome. And you do find variants of this throughout Italy, but this one is the OG. It's so good, and I've seen it all over the internet. I'm so excited to be trying it. Phenomenal, guys. This is also like a takeaway, apparently, fast food.
The place is super popular. Sometimes it has lines outside for meters. But luckily we are here early and we got some. I already see a lot of locals lining up there now as we're leaving to get their supli on the go.
And we always say, eat where the locals are. That's when you know the quality of food is top notch.
The link to this specific tour, if you do want to come on it, will be in the description for you guys. And you can also scan the QR code right here.
So when we first arrived in Italy, it was perfect temperatures, not even that hot. It's now like 33 degrees.
It's not even summer yet. It's going to get to like 40. Danke.
So we are having Roman style of pizza. Everybody's going to have 3 different flavors. Queen of pizzas.
Another salute. It's now beer with pizza. Apparently that's the way you have to eat your pizza here in Rome, is to couple it with a beer. You're not allowed to separate the two. So yeah. Tastes like beer. I don't drink beer, guys.
Nice pizza, right?
Very crispy at the bottom. We just learned the fascinating origins of the margherita pizza. So pizza was invented in the city of Naples, and Queen Margherita herself, she was born and lived in the north of Italy where pizza did not exist. She made a trip down to Naples city. She went to this restaurant and she saw this type of food called pizza. Now pizza was originally actually for the lower class citizen, for the poor people. So it wasn't that popular amongst the royals. Anyway, they knew she was coming to visit the restaurant where the pizza was the best and most famous in Naples, and they decided to make a pizza that was based off of the Italian flag. So they used basil for the green color, mozzarella for the white, and a tomato base for the red in the flag. And she tasted the pizza and she loved it so much she asked them to name it after her. So that's why the margherita pizza is called the margherita pizza, after Queen Margherita herself.
And she's known as the first food influencer in history. Come to a very special and super old restaurant to have some more wine, some bruschetta, and of course tried some pasta. Absolutely delicious. Currently standing in the basement of the restaurant, which is as old as the Colosseum itself and literally has some of the same bricks that we saw at the Colosseum.
And they only discovered this basement a couple of years ago, and in the basement were 2 statues that were stolen.
The statue of the man and then the horse itself. So they were stolen from outside the Pantheon and they found them in this basement of this restaurant. How crazy. It's just so beautiful and peaceful walking around this neighborhood. Contrast to where we're staying across from the Vatican, where it's super loud. What are we having?
Gelato! Time to finish this tour. Stracciatella.
Okay, mono or cup?
And corn, please. I got chocolate and stracciatella and panna, which is cream on the top. It's the real Roman way.
There are a few rules when finding the best, most authentic and high quality gelato in Italy. First, the gelato must be covered by metal lids at all times to preserve the correct temperatures and never openly displayed. And second, they must be pale and natural in color. Any bright colors mean there's been artificial flavors added.
No food tour in Rome is complete without a gelato at the end. Rhett got a pistachio and chocolate ice cream. Not ice cream, sorry. God, I can't say that. Gelato, it's so good. And that's the end of our tour, guys. Highly recommend doing this tour as soon as you get to Rome, because not only do you roam around Rome and learn all the history of the city, you also get to learn through the food. Absolutely love food tours, guys. Cannot recommend them more. It's our last evening here in Rome, and all we really wanted to do during our time here in Rome is to grab a takeaway pizza and come and eat it in front of one of the world wonders. And that's what we've done tonight. The Colosseum lights up so beautifully in the evening. I honestly think it's so worth it coming here at nighttime at sunset to see it. Anyway, we grabbed some cheap pizzas. And that's gonna be us for the evening. This is so cute.
2 pizzas and the beer for 17 euro. And the view was priceless and totally worth it.
Oh, cute.
It's day 5 of our trip and it's time to finally explore the Amalfi Coast. Located in the southwest of Italy, known for its breathtaking and rugged shoreline, dotted with the quaintest cliffside towns and some of the best Italian food, cooked with the freshest of ingredients. We're going to spend 72 hours exploring this beautiful region of Italy, sharing all the costs and the best things to do along the way.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're on our way to the Amalfi Coast. Literally been on our bucket list for the longest time. I'm so excited. Today we took an Italo train from Roma Termini to Naples. It was a 1-hour train. We got off and now we are on an Itabus, which goes all the way to Sorrento on the Amalfi Coast. On the way though, we stop in Pompeii. Pompeii is obviously where the town was completely covered in the ash of the massive explosion of Mount Vesuvius. As you come out of the train station, you can actually see the volcano. It's literally massive. It's so epic. You can use this exact bus that we're on. Stop here in Pompeii. There's even luggage storage areas either at the train station or the bus station, where you can just store your luggage, go and explore Pompeii for a couple of hours, and then come back, get this same bus, and head to the Amalfi Coast. We do suggest taking the train really early in the morning to be able to do all of that though. We've decided to opt out of Pompeii just because we're tired and we're quite sick today actually. Guys, I'm just so happy. We've made it to our Airbnb here in Sorrento and it's about 20 minutes outside the main town. We're up on the hill in the mountain on a farm and this is our private little villa. And there's cats in these. It's just so beautiful and ocean views as well. Let's just quickly show you the property and then, yeah, I think we're gonna chill this evening because it was a pretty brutal long travel day and we're feeling under the weather, but this is the most perfect place to come and just relax and rewind, isn't it?
Totally, and there's some special gifts inside that they've given us to make us feel better.
So this is our own private little courtyard with sunbeds, bit of an ocean view there, some tables. It's so beautiful. Oh, it's so peaceful here. And this is our Airbnb. It's already in a mess. Oh my goodness, but we've just organized all our food. We've got a full kitchen. We're so excited to cook Italian food for ourselves. We've got the bathroom downstairs here, so beautiful. We've got a toilet, a bidet. This is very common in Italy to have a separate bidet from your toilet. I love it. We've even got a washing machine in here, which is great, and a beautiful shower. Look at these stunning little windows. I love them, guys. hairdryer as well, and a heating rack actually, so that you can stay here in winter and be comfy and cozy still. We've got air conditioning in this common area and downstairs in our bedroom. This right here is so beautiful. Fresh lemons and oranges from the farm right over here. Perfect when we're feeling under the weather. And then the bedroom is all the way down here. It smells so good in here. Double bed, closet, TV, air conditioning as well. What else?
That's it. It's a small place.
Yeah, it's a tiny little cute apartment. It's got everything we need. Oh yeah, and there's a fridge with all sorts of snacks and drinks in here. There's wine, beer, Coke that you can purchase as well. And then I think that's limoncello that's made on this farm as well. Oh, and a whole bunch of snacks they gave us. I'm gonna be so happy.
So peaceful. There's the church bells ringing, and in front of us is the most insane view of Sorrento and the cliffs. You can see the Isle of Capri from here. In terms of getting around, we were picked up by our host at the Sorrento bus station. It was 20 minutes drive up here into the mountains, and then there is a bus station here that will take us down to the nearest town. From there we can take a train back to Sorrento and then hop on another bus, and then we can explore places like Positano and Amalfi, of course.
Alternatively though, you can rent your own scooter and scoot and toot around the Amalfi Coast. I think that would be the perfect way. Apparently driving a car around Amalfi Coast is not the best because the parking is a nightmare, but a scooter is very small and you can park it pretty much everywhere, so that's great. Otherwise, public transport.
Grazie.
Grazie. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
We honestly love nothing more on our travels than stopping by a small grocer, meeting the locals, and picking the freshest local ingredients to cook for dinner.
Good morning, it is finally time to explore the Amalfi Coast, and this is our trusty steed for the next 24 hours or so. It's a freaking Vespa to drive around the Amalfi Coast. Honestly, how awesome. We're paying around €65 for 24 hours, and they dropped it right here at our villa for us, so we didn't have to mess around with public transport to go to their offices and pick it up. It was a €15 drop-off fee and then a €15 pickup fee. It's not cheap, but it's super convenient, and honestly, it's a bucket list item for us just to ride a Vespa on the Amalfi Coast. We can tick it off. I think it's so awesome. The weather's not the best today, so hopefully it clears up a little later, but first stop, I think we're going to head straight to the most beautiful part of this Amalfi Coast, and that is Positano. Wow, how insane. There she is. Wow, this coastline is unbelievable. Guys, it is so steep here. Driving a scooter on the Amalfi Coast, I don't know if it's for the faint of heart. I can't even look right the whole time Rhett's driving the scooter. But it's pretty iconic, isn't it?
Very
It's
beautiful.
pretty iconic and beautiful.
Very nice.
Excited to get down there to Positano though. Let's go! The Amalfi Coast. I did not expect it to be this
huge and grand. The mountains are gigantic. It's not like a little small town on the beach. It's massive. There's huge villas and hotels everywhere. It's insane! What's going on?
We've driven all the way down the hill and we found a parking. Just €4 per hour to park our little scooter here, which I think is quite reasonable.
We've heard it's €60 an hour for car parking though.
Yeah, so scooter is definitely the way to go.
Look at all the cute things, Chef, film those. Oh, look at all of the...
All I can say is it's pretty damn iconic to be here.
Wow, I love this place. This place is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen with my own eyes. The bougainvilleas everywhere, beautiful trees and flowers and birds, and then all the yachts and all the stores, they're all lemon themed because obviously this whole area, the Amalfi Coast and Sorrento, they farm a ton of lemons. You'll see it everywhere. So they've gone completely with the theme and I absolutely love it. It's touristy, but like it's so cute. I mean, how can you call this place too touristy? It's not possible. It's so beautiful. Cannot even believe we're here right now. Can you?
Yeah.
And it's shitty weather, but my gosh, is it still so beautiful? I don't think it gets better than this, guys, and I'm on the verge of tears. Like literally, I've got a cry right in my throat. I got a basil pesto pasta. Rhett got a carbonara. We got some water, and this is an Aperol spritz. It is such a strong drink. It'll literally make you tipsy after one. It's fabulous. It is Italian, so it only makes sense to get one here in Positano. These views, this table, these glasses, everything is just so beautiful and iconic and perfect right now. I can't even explain it to you. I'm so happy. Italy is one of those places that you come to and you wonder if it'll ever actually meet your expectations. Positano in particular was that for me. It's blown my mind. It is absolute perfection. It's so busy with tourists, but who cares? It is worthy of this many people coming to visit. And Italy as a whole, yeah, just so far, so bloody good. And if it's on your bucket list, guys, just make the investment, pay the monies, do the things. It's expensive, it's scary, but you have to come. You have to.
Live your life. You will always make more money. It'll come back. Ciao. Thank you. Not often a restaurant lives up to the hype and is actually worth it. Highly recommend that one. That was absolutely delicious. There are so many shops, so many different things to buy, and lots of cafes to get some cheap pizza on the go. We've just picked up a...
Everything's lemon. This is a lemon de sorbet, I think. It's so just sorbet and a lemon. Absolutely iconic. We're heading to the beach to have this and have a sun. And so hard to actually walk along. There's like black sand here, and then there's bigger pebbles, and then even bigger pebbles in the water itself, and they just separate each step you take, so you like fall in. But that was just beautiful. That was so beautiful. The water is actually quite chilly. Took my breath away for a second, but bellissimo. As much as I absolutely love these umbrellas and how cute they are just far too many of them, guys. I have never seen this many umbrellas and sunbeds
And honestly, they could half this because there's literally barely anyone using them. I don't understand. It's just it's kind of such a pity because this beach would be much more pleasant if we had more space. Besides that, one of the most beautiful beaches in the whole world, just because of all the buildings and stuff. The sorbets out of the lemons, it's all just so beautiful. I love it. Good morning! Before we get this day started, I just wanted to show you our breakfast because we're in a self-catering unit and we usually make our own breakfasts in the morning because we like a slow start. But our Airbnb host gave us cute little snacks and they gave us the teeniest, tiniest little pieces of toast and little Nutellas and jam. And we've got a coffee machine, so here's Rhett making our brekkie. Look how small these are! Hey? Oh my word, and then here's the little Nutellas they gave us and little jam. Isn't that so cute? We've made it to the train station, and here in Italy, the traditional way of drinking coffee is to have an espresso at the bar. Espresso means fast, so just have it here, coffee, caffeine, and then you get going. You don't sit at a table really, so that's what we're gonna do.
And then instead of like what we normally have as an Americano, which is espresso shot mixed with water in the coffee, you drink a little cup of water before and then you take your shot of espresso. Makes sense? Yes, please. Little bit.
How do you say little bit in Italian?
Un po'.
Un po'. Oh, that's cute. Yes. Grazie. Salute.
Salute. Wow.
Very yummy. Well, we just picked up some lunch and taking a stroll through Sorrento. Very beautiful town, also quite busy, on our way to pick up something very exciting. We've got super cool plans for today. Definitely one of the popular things to do on the Amalfi Coast is to rent a boat or get a captain to take you out on the waters. We had planned to get the boat ourselves and try to go to Capri, which is about an hour away, but the water was a little rough and the wind was a little rough, so we weren't able to do that. But we've just been exploring the Sorrento coast, going into some caves, did a bit of swimming, checked out the Grand Marina, which is I think the only public beach here in Sorrento, which was quite busy and pumping. Lots of cool restaurants, beautiful buildings on the mountain. This is an incredibly beautiful city, I must say. As you can see on the drone footage, it's just insane. The water is so crystal clear, perfect temperatures for swimming. You could stay in for an hour.
So this morning we actually had plans to visit the Isle of Capri. My granny and grandpa did it in like the late 70s, early 80s I think actually. And they did camper vanning around Italy, and they came here to Sorrento and they took a boat out to the Isle of Capri. They visited the Blue Grotto, and my gran said it was one of the most beautiful experiences of her life, and that's why we wanted to visit the Isle of Capri today. But unfortunately we got here to the dock, we found a tour on Get Your Guide. They're so awesome, but we got here and they said the ocean's too choppy and it wouldn't have been a pleasant ride over. They advised us to just hop in the boat with them and just do a bit of the Sorrento coast instead. The water was super chilled here, not choppy at all. Apparently when you go around the bay though to like Positano or over to Capri, super choppy because of the wind direction. So we weren't able to do that. And I am bleak, but these things happen in travel, you know. Things just don't go to plan and you just have to be here and grateful to be here in Italy on the Sorrento coast. That's what I'm going to do now. Fix my mind. I'm sad that I didn't get to do what my granny and grandpa did, but we'll obviously come back and do it one day. So if you have good calm waters here and amazing weather, you have to do either a self-drive boat trip or a guided one, either to Positano or Capri, or do both. Absolutely magnificent. The coastlines here are some of the most beautiful in the whole world.
Wow, what's going on? You've outdone yourself, huh?
Dinner is served, cooked by yours truly. This is tortellini stuffed with prosciutto, and it's a bolognese sauce with mozzarella on the top, and it's got some basil leaves picked straight out of the garden here. We've got water with lemon that comes from the farm here as well, and this is just fabulous. Also a budget friendly meal, so that's all lacquer. And then we've got beautiful views of Mount Vesuvius in the background, and the sun is about to set. All is good and well, isn't it? And then tomorrow we've got an amazing day planned, and that's because we are renting ourselves a little Fiat 500 and driving to Tuscany. Woo! So it's a bucket list thing for us to do, and that's our time in the Amalfi Coast and Sorrento finished. Really sad to be leaving here. It's a very special place in this world. Today, we're driving a cute little Fiat 500 through the rolling hills of Tuscany, a province in central Italy known for its vineyards, wine tasting, walled cities, and of course the beautiful capital city of Florence. We have got our trusty little steed for our road trip here in Italy, and it is the iconic, the one and only Fiat 500. We come from South Africa and we're used to driving on the opposite side of the car and the opposite side of the road.
So it's a little trickier.
Yeah.
And obviously the roads here in Italy are so small.
They are so small, but luckily this car is really small too. Guys, it's so cute.
And it's very fancy. It's got Apple CarPlay, air conditioning, everything you could need for a comfortable drive across Italy.
Roughly an hour outside of Sorrento is Naples. Naples is the birthplace of pizza, and the very first pizza restaurant is still there. So feel free to make a stop there if you want and try one of the OG pizzas. We'll put the link to that pizza restaurant in our resource pack.
First stop here at, I think it's called Q8. Got everything in there that your heart desires. We picked up some almond cappuccinos, which are absolutely delicious. And these buffalo sandwiches, which is mozzarella, some cheese and meat. Fantastic. Total was 21 euros, so a little bit pricey for us as South Africans. Maybe that's the norm in Europe. But yeah, off we go.
What are your thoughts on Tuscany so far?
Exactly how I pictured it in my mind.
It's so beautiful.
This shot right now is a painting.
Are we staying here? Is this what I booked? I cannot. I can't believe this is what I booked. This has never happened before, where the place you booked super exceeds your expectations.
Well, the scenery outside does so far, that's for sure.
Oh no, yeah, I don't actually care, but like I could sleep on a wooden plank right now. I do not care. The views, I cannot even tell you guys how beautiful it is right now.
Il nome sembra agriturismo Poderino,
Yes.
ma il nome Gorelli Luciano o no?
No, Claire.
Allora non è qui. Ora tanto arriva mio figlio, però questo è Poderino di Gorelli Luciano a San Quirico d'Orcia.
Google Translate, guys. Download onto your phone. Yeah, it's super handy, especially when you go off the beaten track and you're out of the big cities. Nobody speaks English. Hey?
I thought we were double booked, guys. I really thought we didn't have a room tonight. We arrived and she was so confused.
I think you're in the right place.
Hello,
Buonasera.
buonasera.
Oh.
Mia madre, you?
My name is Rhett.
Luciano.
Luciano, nice to meet you. You bring milk?
Yogurt, milk
Cake?
e cake.
Ah,
E
beautiful.
E coffee, Italian coffee.
Oh, Italian coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, yes, very good.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, amazing.
Is possible check-in?
Yes.
Yeah, you need a passport?
Yes.
We are checked in. Our host finally came and brought us in, and he even brought us cakes and milk and yogurt and Italian coffee to make our stay comfortable. And I think that was his mom that greeted us, and she just comes here to farm on the land. She absolutely loves it here. Couldn't speak a word of English, and I love it, guys. Nobody is under obligation to speak English. I absolutely love communicating through touch and words and translating. It was stressful at first because she's like, no. I think she was like, trying to tell us she doesn't know where we are or what. It was kind of stressful in the beginning, but it was such a lovely moment. It just reminds you that you're really in the middle of Italy right now. It just cannot get more Italian than this. It is a literal dream. I don't know about you guys, but Rhett and I have really been craving nature. The middle of nowhere, the sound of birds and trees, and just zero construction, like zero traffic noise. It does not get better than this, for real. You may be wondering why exactly I booked this stay and this specific area, and that's because I came across a blog post, a CNN travel blog post, and it said that Val d'Orcia is the most photographed place and most beautiful destination in the whole of Italy. And I found this B&B right near in Val d'Orcia, and right near one of the most beautiful streets or roads in the whole of Italy.
Well done.
I'm pretty proud of this one. We just got back from the little mart like 2 kilometers away. We bought a full bag of groceries with like stuff for 4, 5, 6 meals, and it was only €30, including this bottle of wine that was only €1.70 for the entire bottle. How insane. You would think being in Tuscany would be super expensive. It really is not. And in fact, I just cooked up a nice chicken stew because Rhett's still feeling sick. So that's just comfort food right there. It's a lot cooler here in Tuscany as well. So some wine, some stew, maybe a cup of tea later, and some of the sweets that they gave us. Oh, it's gonna be a good evening. This is really, really something we needed.
No. Stay.
Good morning. I literally cannot even explain to you guys how in love we are with Tuscany, how unbelievable this landscape is, and how much we love our Airbnb that we're staying in. But today we're on our way to do some wine tasting, obviously, because that's what Tuscany is really known for. So I think we're gonna visit 1 or 2 wineries today and just explore the region in our Fiat. It's just such a vibe. Oh my word, so many farms and also so many little castle looking villages on each hill. So let's see what we get up to. We have no plan, and I think I really like that we have no plan.
To just take it easy and see what we see.
We mainly produce Sangiovese to make Brunello. We produce Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot too to make our Super Tuscan style wine. But the most important wine is Brunello di Montalcino. Allora,
Clary is not feeling very well today. She's got a cough. I think I made her sick, guys. The public transport, I think, is to blame here in Europe.
Sick people everywhere on the trains in Rome. And apparently there's this thing called the Euro cough. And all foreigners pretty much get it every time they come to Europe. And I think we've got it. The worst sickness I've ever had. Horrible. Bellissimo! Well, we have just been roaming around all over the hills of Tuscany. We've visited a couple of different villages and towns. We've gone to Pienza, we've done some wine tasting, and really we've just been visiting like all the viewpoints in the whole of this region. But I think the area that we're staying in, Val d'Orcia, is by far the most beautiful area, in my personal opinion, but not only in my personal opinion, in the big filmmakers' opinions as well. Why? Because there have been some really famous films actually filmed in Val d'Orcia.
Look familiar? The year's 2000, Russell Crowe, little film called The Gladiator. Well, this is the set for one of the scenes, and I must say, directors definitely chose an incredibly beautiful part of Tuscany, and I'm so happy that we are staying literally just 10 minutes from here. How amazing.
I cannot believe how many men there are nerding out right now. Literally, Rhett and all these other guys are here doing the exact pose.
I think about the Roman Empire on a daily basis. Although Tuscany does change a little bit, we've seen a lot of changes in the landscape as we've been driving around today. It's still incredibly beautiful everywhere. So if you stay anywhere in Tuscany, I'm sure you'll be more than happy.
Okay, we're finally home, back in our favorite place, this Airbnb. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite stays we've ever had. Like, I'm completely obsessed with it. I've just made myself a mad lemon because I'm feeling quite fluey, and Rettie's gone on a run in the hills here. Oh, I'm sure he's loving every second. This is exactly where I want to be. I don't want to actually be gallivanting and sightseeing. That's not what I wanted out of our Tuscany trip.
Bye, Tuscany.
We didn't even get to use the jacuzzi. Jokes, we're not leaving Tuscany, we're actually just leaving the Tuscany countryside, but we're on our way to the capital of Tuscany now, which is Florence.
We don't have a lot of time here in Florence, unfortunately. We just have the afternoon and the evening, but our hotel is really close to a lot of the good sites here. The hotel is on the screen now. I think it's called Micheli's, And yeah, it's pretty comfortable. Booked it on booking.com. It's probably around 130 euros per night. We've just spotted Giotto's tower, and then there's a lot of sites around that to see, so let's just head over there now.
Oh, this is literally the most beautiful bell tower I've ever seen in my little life, and it's huge, and there's so many cute restaurants you can eat at right here. This is the Cathedral of Santa Maria, and then right across the road is the Baptistry of St. John. John is my granddad's name. Rest in peace, Granddad, I'm thinking of you. Oh, and I'm gonna cry. But this whole square, this is so beautiful. I screwed myself. Florence is actually known as Italy's most beautiful city, and there's a couple of really amazing things you can do here. A lot of it is around going to museums and art galleries, and that is because some of the world's most famous paintings are here. Number one, you can go to the Academy Gallery to see the statue of David. Number two, you can go to Uffizi Gallery and see the birth of Venus painting in real life. Number three, you can just walk around here and just take it all in. That's exactly what we're gonna do because it is already so beautiful, guys. Hello, Granny. Do you recognize this behind me? So we went to the gallery, the Accademia Gallery, to go see the statue of David, but the line was literally too long and we just don't have the energy to wait in it, and we didn't pre-book. You guys go ahead and book it on GetYourGuide. But a little fun fact, around the corner there is a replica of the statue of David, and there he is right over there, and apparently he looks identical as the one inside the museum.
A little
and
bit
it's
smaller
free.
though, right?
Maybe. No, I think he's the same size. He's an exact replica.
Wow.
Replica. So there you go. Budget to come see the Walmart version of the statue of David.
Honestly, visit Italy if you want to be transported back 600 years in time, because there's virtually no modern buildings around in any of the cities. Rome, Florence, Venice. You just feel like you're living in history, and it's beautiful.
Obviously, there's a lot to do in Florence, and it's one of the best cities to just walk around and explore on foot. But one thing we had to do before leaving Italy was a cooking class, and specifically to learn how to make those legendary pastas like tagliatelle and ravioli. And so we found the perfect tour on GetYourGuide for that, with the added bonus of learning how to make tiramisu too.
So I'm going to start from the egg whites, and I will put, so most of the recipes, they tell you all the sugar in the yolks, but my nonna always used to tell me 1 scoop in the whites as well, because it helps to glue everything together. When the mornings arrive like a big pizza pie.
So we've already learned the history of tiramisu. It's so fascinating. It's actually known as a pick-me-up dessert, and that's because tiramisu means basically pull me out and lift me up, and that's literally what it translates to, and that's because it's got coffee in, and it was often made for people who had night shifts, just so that they would have a bit of a pick-me-up. Some of those people included guards and prostitutes.
You can also talk positive affirmations to your tiramisu.
I think you should talk dirty.
You are. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You're a dirty girl.
Dirty, I say good.
Oh, you say, well, I mean, you're a good girl, but you can also be a dirty girl. Tiramisu.
Wow, that is yum.
That's so good.
After creating our tiramisu, it was time to head to the kitchen in the back to start with the real cooking portion of this cooking class. The first step was to create dough for both our ravioli and tagliatelles. This was super simple, as it was just a whole bunch of flour, some egg, and some really good kneading.
This is the moment I've been waiting for.
There you go.
For ages, is to finally use one of these pasta machines.
Bravo.
So it's intimidating.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, let's go. You ready? By the way, guys, this is so much fun. We make a little pancake,
Isn't she lovely?
like so. Dip her in.
Yeah, just like this. It's always good.
Make sure there's flour all over. Then we put
Look at
it
you
in.
missing.
I'm going in.
That looks done to me.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're done. You can stop. You can stop, yes. Beautiful. Other one.
One more or done?
No, you can do the other one.
I did it! a lot harder than what it looks like. What the heck? Everyone's having so much fun. So good. Nice. So we're just making our spinach and ricotta cheese filling. Look at him, he's so cute. And then we just chuck him right there in the ravioli. I think we've got about 6 pieces of ravioli. This is not cooking, this is making art. This is architecture. This is so involved. I will never eat a piece of ravioli ever again and not appreciate the craftsmanship that went into making it. It's difficult, but it's fun.
I mean, you know what?
I'm a proud mama. This is so much fun, I can't deal. This tour is bottomless. What is this? Prosciutto? Prosciutto?
Prosecco.
Excuse me. Prosecco. And now we're getting white wine because it pairs well with the ravioli. It's a lot of alcohol, guys, and there's no limit whatsoever.
We have a beautiful Bianco di Pitigliano, DOC. Pitigliano is very close to Siena. It's one of the best wines. It's dry, but it's also fruity.
Grazie.
Oh, that's what we made. Ricotta, cheese, and spinach stuff. A ravioli cooked in a sage and butter sauce. Guys, this is it. This is amazing.
This is living.
This is living.
Salute.
We're on the train now from Florence to Milan, and then we are going to drive up to Lake Como. But if you want to end your trip here, I think you will be more than satisfied with what you would have done in Italy, from Venice to Rome to Amalfi Coast to Florence. It is a fantastic trip. When we were booking our train from Florence to Milan, an option on the Train Italia website came up to upgrade to business class for just 13 euros. So we decided, yeah, sure, let's do that. We are sitting in a very comfortable cabin here, right at the front of the train. We've got a lot more space than on the other ones, and yeah, it's just really nice. I think we also get a few snacks and drinks on this one, so we don't have to go to the shop ourselves and buy coffees and stuff. We'll let you know if it's worth it at the end though, but do look out for those little pop-ups for upgrades. Also, there's Wi-Fi on the train that you can access pretty easily, and it's very fast too. Trains travel at 300 kilometers an hour, so you really get around the country pretty quickly. I must say, my drive from Amalfi to Florence on the highways was a little bit hectic. There were a ton of trucks. I didn't really enjoy the drive. I do prefer just sitting here and doing a bit of work on a laptop, scrolling on internet and just chilling on the train. I think it's a bit better. Let's start the next leg of this Italian journey.
If all the vans in this yard didn't give it away, we've decided to give van life a try for a week. We're here at the Indie Campus Depot in Milan to pick up this bad boy, a fully kitted out Fiat Ducato that sleeps 4 and costs roughly around 130 euros per night, including fresh new pillows and linen. For a full tour of the van and our experience doing this for the first time, definitely subscribe to the channel. We have one hell of an epic video coming up next month. For now, our plan is to drive up to spend a night on the shores of Lake Como before heading into Switzerland. We've heard groceries are crazy expensive there, so we decided to stock up on some good old Italian ingredientes. Who doesn't love that? The drive to Como was spectacular, albeit a little tight on some of the hairpin turns. Nonetheless, we got to our campsite safely. We're staying here at La Fornace, which cost around 35 euros for the night. It has amazing bathrooms and cleaning facilities, electricity, and some of the best views you'll ever see.
Our very first meal in a van ever. We cooked some risotto. It's raining outside. A warm meal. Oh, we're doing so well.
We are at Lake Como now, and we spent the night camping at La Fornas campsite, which was right on the lake.
We haven't told people that we got a van yet.
They know we got a van from Indie Campers and we drove it from Milan to Lake Como, and now the next day we are walking to Bellagio, which is a cute little town here on the shores of Lake Como.
It's the main area where most tourists end up staying here in Lake Como. It's stinking cute.
We can't actually drive into Bellagio with our huge ass van. We just found a parking about 1.5 kilometers back, so now we're just walking in. And yeah, it's a beautiful, peaceful town, and we would love to retire here. Yo, what a place.
Literally. I'm saying it now. Lake Como is my absolute favorite place in the whole of Italy that we have been.
Wow, huge. That's
It
huge.
is unreal. Unreal.
Take nothing away from Tuscany. I love Tuscany. It was beautiful. But this is, whew, wow.
A little panini, a little cappuccino, an insane view, birds. It doesn't get better than this. It is so beautiful. Wow. Oh, by the way, Bellagio, you have to book a hotel somewhere along here and stay right here in Bellagio. It's stunning.
Maybe when we're big and strong, we can book a hotel right on the strip here. The Bellagio Hotel would be a really good one.
So what else can you do here in Lake Como and in the Bellagio region? Well, there are some really cute towns all over the lake that you can stop at. There's Nesso, where there's the famous bridge. You can do some cliff jumping there. You can grab a water taxi or one of the boats and actually go in front of the bridge. It's so beautiful. Spend the day there swimming on a nice warm day. Unfortunately, the weather isn't that great for us. It's quite chilly. And then of course, just get out onto the water, take a boat ride, and we'll link all of the best tours in Lake Como on our Get Your Guide wish list, so you can have a browse and see what suits you.
Guys, you have to come to Bellagio. It is so worth the visit, and to stay here would just be absolutely perfect. There's so many cute restaurants and little shops and little alleys to walk up and explore. We wish we had more time here, honestly.
And Lake Como is actually very posh. It's upmarket, it's not overly touristy. So glad we made the little pit stop here. And the camping was fantastic as well. I don't know, which do you prefer, camping there on the lake, having a swim, or
Both are really good options.
Yeah, literally. Oh, must come here.
Alright, well, yeah, that's basically the end of our trip now in Italy. We are really going to drive into Switzerland in the next hour.
Guys, Lake Como was the cherry on the top for me. Hey, I'm going home with the biggest freaking heart.
Yeah.
Italy, you were fantastic.
Hope you guys found this itinerary video super helpful, and if you did, don't forget to give it a like, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao!
Ciao bella!